Today being March 8th, International Women's Rights Day, we decided to have at the Women's Support Center a get-together, an informal get-together, discussion over tea. And the tea and the goodies were prepared by the Syrian Armenian women. And we had survivors of domestic violence come and share their experiences with various ambassadors. We had the ambassador to the European Community, to Finland, to Norwegia, to Czechia, to France. Also we had representatives of UNHCR, the UN agency in charge of the refugees, who we organized together this event actually. And we discussed the problems that are facing women and the need to advocate for women's rights in Armenia. It's an issue that contributes to democracy. It's an issue that contributes to gender equality in Armenia. And these are very important aspects of society. The success stories of the women impressed the ambassadors. These are women that have overcome fear, that have overcome difficulties and challenges and lack of support, sometimes from state agencies, sometimes from their own parents or their own family. But they overcame, they had the courage, they came to our center, they received also, some of them, vocational training, some of them they have their own business, other of them they have been employed, and they are able to support 2 or 4 children depending on each family. And this encouraged very much the ambassadors, and they also mentioned that in their capacity as women, the majority were women ambassadors. As women, they also talk to the Prime Minister, talk to the members of government to advance women's rights in Armenia. Going forward, of course, we always aim, besides the service provision, the shelter and the counseling and all that we do with the beneficiaries, we also put an emphasis on advocacy. And that means that we have to work with the government to change legislation, to make amendments, to change police procedures, police mechanisms, to make it at the institutional level, because one day, let's say, our center will close down, that at the state level it remains the same approach and the main methodology. So we work diligently towards that. These are things that take time, but they are doable. The things that the most challenging perhaps is the change of mentality, because those attitudes that people have as policemen, as investigators, as judges, those are, as teachers even, or doctors, they change very difficult. And it was interesting to hear the parallel between East Germany and West Germany, how East Germany is really the communist tradition, and West Germany how more liberated and advanced they are. And it takes time for those change of attitudes to happen. But for that, we have to do constantly awareness raising and trainings and expose service providers to a different mindset. I have to say that in the past 10 years, let's say, that we worked with the policemen, we see great changes. We saw changes in the attitude of policemen. If at the beginning there were complete denial and resistance to any against victims, and they were blaming them a lot, that they provoked the husbands. That's what they were telling us, and we are here to break up families. That was the attitude. I have to say that now, I would say 50% of the police force is very sensitive towards women's issues, and they work in very good collaboration with us. And this is a very much step forward. And we see this political will now from the government, the Minister of Social Affairs, as I mentioned, the police, with legislation, with members of parliament, and this is all very positive, and we want to take advantage of the situation right now and act quickly.
Okay.